or something like that, but you're
Mm-hmm.
just telling people, listen, on behalf of our church, we're giving you access to all these different types of content. And some of this stuff may be extremely relevant to the season of life that you're in right now. And if so, that's great. We hope, you find this helpful. But you can also tell them some of this stuff may not be, as relevant to exactly what you're dealing with right now. And that's totally okay too. But you're just letting people know that, if they hit a rough patch in their marriage, or if they have that teenager who's a little bit out of control, or whatever the case may be, they have somewhere to turn in those times for biblically sound wisdom on those topics, as opposed to just whatever they can find on, Google or YouTube or anything else.
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Say that we have somebody that's dealing with grief. Their husband has passed away, and now they're having a real hard time with that. When you go up to the search section up there, do you search by the title only, or can you search by topic, like put in grief or
Yeah,
loss?
yeah, right. You can search by topic as well. Okay, there are basically three major ways that you can use this search function.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily just going to be like a word match of whatever you search, but you can search for three basic things. One, you can search by a specific pastor or teacher. Okay, so let's say you were looking for content from one specific person. You
Mm-hmm.
can search that person's name there, and find what's available that way.
Okay.
You also can search by the name of the study itself, if you know that. You can search by a specific book of the Bible. Okay, that's a pretty popular way to search as well. You can search by a book of the Bible, or you can search by topic. Okay, and so I'll just go ahead and show you here. If I click search and I type in grief, okay, you can look through this and see all of the different
Mm.
things on healing and grief and things like that we have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can search by prayer, by forgiveness, by reconciliation, I mean, whatever the topic is, and we'll give you everything that we've got for that particular topic in our library.
Okay. Good.
Yep. Search function is very easy to use. It's also a great tool just for people that, a lot of people, again, see this and they think, wow, this is great, but there's so much stuff here. How will I ever find what I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Search function is really handy for that reason.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so next up here, looks like we're going to click into kids episodes. We'll just take a look and see what this one's got to offer. Um, so this children's library right here, this is actually a major focal point of the Right Now Media Library, especially for the families that our ministry works with. And so here's kind of what I mean by that. So to give you a little bit of quick backstory, when we launched this children's library, it started about a year and a half ago. Okay, and at that time, we started this thing out with about 400 episodes of Christian cartoons and children's discipleship content. And at that time, we thought, hey, 400 episodes, that sounds really good. This is going to be a nice supplement to go along with, whatever the children's ministry is already doing at the church. The thing we did not necessarily anticipate, though, was how fast this library was going to grow. And here we are about a year and a half later, and this library has grown from 400 episodes to about 1,500 episodes of Christian cartoons and children's discipleship content.
Hmm.
Okay?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
the reason why that growth has been so pronounced and so extreme is because this is the area of our library, actually more than any other, where parents keep coming back to us and just keep saying, we love this, we want more of this, give us more shows, give us more episodes for our kids to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really revealed to us a couple major things here. First of all, it's revealed to us that there are a lot of young families out there that are just looking for some Christian alternatives to whatever their kids might be able to find on network television. And this is going to be a way that they can be provided with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that it's revealed to us is that this area of the library right here, this kids section, this may be where you guys see the clearest application for day in and day out use of Right Now Media in people's homes. Okay? And
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I say that is because, let's just say we're just being realistic here. If mom and dad come home from work and they're working 5 days a week, 9 to 5 or whatever, when they come home from work, they may not do a Bible study every single night. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
when the kids come home from school, in most cases, they probably do want to watch cartoons. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's where, we've really seen the value here is that people are using this on a regular basis in order to in order to disciple their children and give them some Christian cartoons to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's self-explanatory, and for anybody that watches this and is familiar with, um, excuse me, is familiar with youth ministry titles, we've got a lot that you may be familiar with. You've got things like Veggie Tales and What's in the Bible and a number of others. So these are just going to be great children's resources, and I'll scroll down quickly and show you just on it goes, all these different episodes that are teaching the kids biblical principles or Bible stories and things like that. And this is all at your disposal for your children's ministry and the children in the congregation.
Sure.
One other thing I'll mention with this kids library as well is that we do have an app. Okay, the app is available as a free download anytime. It's available both for Apple products in the iTunes App Store and for Android products in the Android Marketplace. And so mom and dad can get the Bible studies on their phone so that if they're driving in their car to work, they have a commute or whatever, they can listen to them there. But I mention it during the kids content because the app is particularly useful for families that have like iPads and tablets, because it seems like nowadays a lot of the kids know how to use the tablet better than mom and dad do, and it's just because they're so used to playing games and watching shows and being entertained by what they find on those devices. And so that's where it's critical just that, that app is on there so that the kids can easily access their favorite shows. They don't need mom and dad to do it for them. And so it's been a blessing for parents and for the kids that are using RightNow Media.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, then next up here, we've got our conference library. This one's pretty self-explanatory, so I won't spend a ton of time here, but this tends to be a pastoral favorite, and so I did want to show this to you. What this is right here, this is just a library full of sessions from various major Christian conferences that happen all throughout the year, okay? And so you may be familiar with some of these that you find on here, but the reason pastors love this is because a lot of pastors that I work with generally would really love to have the opportunity to attend more conferences. A lot of times conferences present the pastors with an opportunity just to get away a little bit and kind of recharge their batteries, where instead of being the one that's always pouring out into the congregation, they get to just listen and be a member of the audience and that kind of thing. But the other thing we also know is that sometimes it's not always the most practical thing in the world for pastors to be able to attend these as often as they might like to. A lot of times these conferences can be expensive. You can get conference tickets themselves running you, I don't know, $50 a day, $100 a day, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you also have to deal with travel expenses. Unless the conference is right there in town for you guys, you got to get yourself there as frequently as they might hope to. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And so what we thought is, okay, why don't we kind of just connect with these conferences, because we're already working with a lot of the pastors that go around teaching at them anyway. Why don't we just get in with the conferences and provide our people with access to the sessions from these major conferences as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so that pretty much explains how this library came to be and what's going on here with this with this particular section. And so we have conferences like Passion, Catalyst, the Gospel Coalition. I mean, many names that you may have heard of here. And I'll scroll down and show you a few. Like I said, Gospel Coalition. We have SEND through the North American Mission Board, Verge, just tons and tons of conferences, many of which you heard of, many others which you have not heard of, and that's okay too, I'm sure. I do that. I wanted to show you this section as well because this tends to be another pastoral favorite. And this one's called Downloadable Illustrations. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And so what this library is, this is just basically a library full of sermon illustration type videos. And what you're looking at when I say sermon illustrations, I'm just talking about kind of like your 1 to 2 minute buffer videos that pastors might use to introduce a sermon or just kind of break the ice before a sermon with the congregation or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm sure you've seen many videos like this before, so you kind of have a mental idea of what's going on here. But some of these are going to be kind of more funny, just icebreaker type videos. Some of them are a little bit more serious and heavy, depending on what kind of tone you're trying to set for that particular sermon.
Uh-huh.
But either way, what the key thing for you to know about this particular section is told to you right there in the title, where you see this word right here, downloadable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Section right here, we've actually been able to give you guys the ability to download these particular videos in advance so on your hard drive and can use them later at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're wondering why we did that for this particular section, it's just because, like I said before, these are sermon illustrations. So I've got pastors using these things on Sunday morning during their sermon.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we just didn't want to leave you guys as pastors at the mercy of your church Wi-Fi connection while you're up there trying to preach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of why we decided to make this particular section downloadable. And so
Super.
these are all categorized just like everything else is, and so it's real easy to find videos for different topics. Have a lot of youth specific videos on here as you scroll down, but just tons and tons of different illustrations. And like I said, a lot of testimony videos as well that you can use just to kind of make the topic a bit more relatable, or just share a real life story with your people. So
Okay, good. Yeah.
whatever you want
Sure,
to do.
sure. Now, what about the customizable training? I'm interested in that.
Yeah, okay. Well, so that's the other one here, and I don't have a ton of time to spend there, but that's the other blue tab that we looked at. And what this is just basically a library full of what are called training posts. Okay, and
Uh-huh.
so this is a place where you as a pastor can actually send and distribute discipleship videos to your people. Okay,
Uh-huh.
the videos even come with some questions as well, so this section is a bit more interactive than the other sections,
Mm-hmm.
because instead of most of the learning just coming from watching and discussing a video study, on this one you've got a lot of your learning coming from some of the questions that are asked within these trainings.
Uh-huh.
And so you'll see that if you click into one of these here, they all have a link on the left-hand side that says send this post.
Uh-huh.
And when you click on send this post, it's going to pull up a list of all the people from your congregation that have accepted their invitation to use RightNow Media.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, you can send it out to them and share it with them. So it's a great way for you as a pastor to distribute some resources and share the little trainings with your people.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, thanks to the RightNow Media resource.
No, no, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Well, then here's the last thing I'm going to do for you here. I'm going to put my contact information on your screen, and while I do that, I'm going to talk you through a little.
Sure. Now, what I noticed that when those emails go out, that when you respond, because I sent myself one, and when you respond to it, it says send it to somebody else, that you can send it to someone else. And I was thinking, wow, that could really add the number of people on there. Do y'all really want us to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the other things about RightNow Media that's so great is, even though our pricing structure is based on the size of the church, we don't actually put any limitations on the amount of people that you guys can invite, any people you want.
Sure.
Okay? And
Okay.
so I encourage you, invite your friends, invite your family members. I mean, even like family members in other states that may want access to this.
Okay.
Get
Well, that
them
was just a
invited.
question I had when I saw that. I thought, boy, that's really generous to be able to invite others, and that's a good outreach tool for the church too.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. A lot of pastors like using this as an outreach tool so that you can share with people in the community, even, maybe people who, for whatever reason, had a bad experience and are kind of turned off to the idea of going to church, but they would be willing to, potentially look at a study of some kind on leadership or finance or whatever on their own time. This
Mm-hmm.
can be kind of a great in with them, where you can kind of start to just bless them with some resources on behalf of the church, and who knows how that ends up connecting them to the church body in general.
Sure. Okay.
Now, right there, and I'm giving this to you for a couple reasons, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The first reason, even outside of all the list stuff, the first reason is just because one thing I want you to know is that from here on out, I will be your contact point for anything related to Right Now Ministries. Okay,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
if you ever have any questions, or if you forget how something works, maybe you need some tech support or just basic, whatever it is, shoot me an email, give me a call, okay? Because really that's what I'm here for, is to make your life easier when it comes to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would love to help you out in any way that I possibly can there. And